Yo, it's your boy Don Gadget, Lost Puppy Guy. I'm back, and it's a new movie review. And right now, we are looking at the movie Marching Powder 2025, starring none other than Danny Dyer. Starring as a man who is going through a midlife crisis. He is involved in hooliganism, drug taking, going out with the lads, and it all comes to a head when he is caught with possession of cocaine. Unfortunately, I can say that, possession of cocaine. And he is told that he has to do a 6-week trial course or else face a custodial sentence. What goes on from there is a huge mishap in him looking after the son, right? The son of his wife's father, which is essentially his in-law. And he has to look after a man called Kenny. Now, Kenny goes by the name of Kenny D. And Kenny D, I just put it as Kenny D. And Kenny D, what he has is he has severe mental health problems, ADHD, schizophrenia, bipolar, and he has all these kind of ailments. And I thought that going into this movie, I thought that it would be like essentially just a typical kind of a hooligan affair. You know, those movies like the Essex Boys and all that kind of nonsense, Rise of the Foot Soldiers. But it has more of a story pathos to it than that. And there are scenes when Kenny is going through a mental episode. What the film does is it takes that aspect of it seriously. It takes the aspect of his mental health seriously. Danny Dyer, his wife, his long-suffering wife, she is kind of fed up with him. And she's fed up with him because basically she's lived her life in the shadow of his. And essentially she wanted to do a course, a particular course that she wanted to go into. And because of her life being a house mom and being a housewife, she's kind of put that on the back burner. And what you see is she starts to pursue her goal. And time after time, Danny Dyer is drawn into a life of drug-fueled alcohol and nonsensical violence, which he kind of has to look at his life as a 45-year-old man and say to himself, you know what, can he still continue to do this as well as his custodial sentence? Also, what happens is his father-in-law puts him in these jobs with Kenny D, and what happens is that a particular firm that he gets involved with or gets into a rivalry with is now looking for Kenny. But that kind of feels a bit more like a side story to put tension into the movie. What the movie really is about is living in the shadow of your own failures, living in the shadow of your own regret, failure to grow up, failure to cut friends to the cord who really don't serve any purpose in your life. And I think that this is a coming of age story, even as a 45-year-old man, because it shows how he needs to grow up and look after his family. He has a son, and there's a particular funny line in this with his son and an exorcist. It's actually made me laugh. I thought that the gratuitous humor works in particular spots, but in particular spots it falls flat. Like I said, this is more of a story-driven based movie as opposed to like the Rise of the Foot Soldiers and those nonsensical British movies about gangsters giving a bit of geezer and all of that. You know what I mean, mate? But yeah, all in all, I'll probably give this a 6.5 out of 10. I mean, the story is kind of predictable, but what the edges it is his wife. His wife, the actress who plays his wife, is really good because she's a woman who... She tells him that, listen, his friends wants to try get with her and all this kind of stuff. And she kind of goes away with a art director who is basically the tutor of the course that she's on. And there's kind of a storyline boiling there where they're communicating with each other. And essentially a woman who, again, living in the shadow of her own past failures and what she should have done. And she's kind of trying to move forward, but she's being held back by Danny Dyer's reckless drug-taking behavior. All in all, I think it's a decent movie. It's a decent sit down and a decent watch on a Friday night with a couple of friends or sitting down by yourself. It's Marching Powder 2025. Enjoy.